Have you ever thought to yourself, what are the habits that will actually make me a winner in my life? Or what are the habits that will make me successful or rich or happy? Which habits will turn me into the person who I want to become? Well, you're about to learn the 4 best habits of all time. But first, let me share with you a quick 30-second story. This is Dave, and Dave is a pretty average guy who is in his early 20s, but he has a habit of drinking a little bit too much on the weekends. Dave meets a girl named Emma, and Emma is everything that Dave wants in a girl. She is smart, funny, attractive, and they have this amazing chemistry. But Emma is someone who had a very abusive father who drank far too much during her childhood, and she told herself that she could never be with someone who drank even a little bit. But Dave was in love with her, and he always envisioned himself ending up with a girl just like her. So he decided to give up drinking. He had some ups and downs, but after about 6 months, he had fully stopped. And the reason why Dave was able to do this was because he had a very strong and clear reason why. And simply having a clear why will make literally everything you do in your life so much easier, because when times get tough, which they inevitably will, you can always remind yourself of what you're fighting for. However, it's impossible to figure out your why until you can master the second life-changing habit, which is becoming self-aware. If I went to a college campus right now and I asked the students there, why are you honestly here? A lot of them would probably say things like, well, my parents wanted me to go, or all of the other smart kids at my high school were going, or probably the worst answer, I didn't really know what else I should do. When you become self-aware, you will be able to figure out what your honest why is, and not the fake whys that a lot of us tell ourselves. Doing this will give you a much better understanding of what you want to do in your life and what you don't want to do in your life. However, you will not be able to become self-aware until you can master this next habit, meditation. Here's how I would personally define meditation: being fully aware and present to what's going on inside your mind and body. The reason why most people have no idea what is going on inside of them is because they are always distracting themselves with things like social media, Netflix, food, friends. Even doing work can be a distraction from your own feelings. Now, I don't think any of this stuff is bad in moderation, but I do personally think that it's not good to always be distracted, and meditating for even 10 minutes with your eyes closed, with nothing around you, will force you to understand what is going on inside of you. However, you will never be able to meditate until you can master this next incredibly important habit, which is something called engaging. Back in college, I took a class called Operations Management, and in this class, I paid attention like 25% of the time, and the rest of the time I spent on my phone or on my computer, or I would just be daydreaming. Now, even though that class was completely useless and stupid, does not mean that I should not have fully engaged with it, because the more you distract yourself, no matter what it is that you're doing, the more you weaken your attention span muscle. And when the time comes where you actually decide to do something that you are passionate about, you will need that attention span muscle to be nice and strong if you want to be successful. But Mitch, if I'm passionate about something, won't it be easy for me to pay attention to it? Yes and no. Even if you are truly passionate about something, there will always be aspects to it that you won't necessarily love to do. Whatever it is that you decide to do during your day, from meditating to going to school to having dinner with your friend, try putting away the distractions and engage with the activity that you have decided to do. I guarantee you that you will feel happier. However, you will never be able to master any of these habits until you can understand the most important habit of all time. It's so important that I had to dedicate an entire video to it. Feel free to click the screen now and check it out, and I'll see you there.